everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, August 15th, 2021. Thanks for finally showing up to the party, Victor. Fans have been suspicious for months now that Ashland was faking his illness to dig his claws into your company, the company you built from the ground up. Now you're questioning him? Oh, I don't know if Victor's suspicion of Ashland was meant to reignite my suspicion of Ashland, or if it was meant to help me put my suspicions of Ashland to rest. I just don't know anymore. I want to trust Ashland. I like him. He's attractive and smooth as butter. But he's the new guy who breezes into town a few months ago, says he's dying, and now he's marrying Victoria Newman. And the more that he tries to smooth things over and make everybody feel so comfortable with him, the more suspicious he looks to me. A la Stitch. It's the Stitch effect. Oh. Well, some things never change. Victoria was rightfully offended that her father would come up into her house and start questioning Ashland about his intentions. And Ashland offered to let Victor see a copy of his medical records as proof that he is on the up and up. And all I could think was, is there any way that I could see a copy of those medical records? Fork 'em over, Ashland. I need to see it in black and white. Let's clear this up once and for all. Because for sure, Ashland and Sharon both belong to the Cancer Looks Great on You club. You're glowing. It must be that chemotherapy. You know, that newfangled treatment they call chemotherapy. That experimental treatment called chemotherapy. You are looking great. Oh, and I couldn't help but notice that Victoria did not go with Ashland to his first treatment. So how do I even know that there was a treatment? There's no evidence, just the ginger ale and crackers. That's all I've got. And could you believe that Victor strolled right through the missing wall of Victoria's house and brazenly ate one of Ashland's cancer crackers? I was dying. Those crackers are for Ashland's cancer. Not for you to graze upon, Victor. How does he know they're not medicated for crackers? I don't know. That was a great moment. Possibly one of the greatest of the week. Oh, but it's all so so late. It's all coming on so late. I had already started to been feeling resolved to the fact that Ashland is true. I want to believe that Ashland is being true. I think that he is so good for Victoria. He's a dream come true. He's the answer to a fan prayer for Victoria. And I think that Victoria is very clearly good for him too. This romance that they have, it has swept me away into forgetting what a pill Victoria has been within the last few years. And now we are being swept away into a wedding, an engagement. I mean, of course, who wouldn't love this? I love a wedding. I loved the proposal. A common diamond will not do. Oh, no. Ashland said, no diamonds. I'll take the 15-carat sapphire. I gotta hand it to him. The man has great taste. Did you see that huge thing? It would be totally impractical to wear. I mean, it had to have made Victoria's hand so heavy it would have gotten caught on everything. It was totally impractical. I love it. So bright and shiny, it might as well have been flashing and beeping because Nikki noticed it right away as soon as Victoria and Ashland came out to the ranch to make their official announcement about their engagement. The two crazy kids are getting married. And, shocker of all shockers, early in the week, Victor immediately told Victoria that he approves. He even wants to help plan the wedding. What would Victor Newman's planned wedding for Victoria look like? Oh, we are going all black with this one. Giant chess pieces hanging from the ceiling, Roman statue in every corner. I want horses. I'm thinking horses. Horses in the guest seats, horses in the band, horses can be the officiator. I want 2 bride and groom horses on top of the cake. I built this wedding from the ground up. Oh. So I don't know where all the questioning of Ashland came from all of a sudden. Then on Friday, Victor was into it. He was ready to fork out the money. He was ready to help plan it. And then all of a sudden on Friday, he changed his mind. I guess that was just his way of double checking the facts and probably establishing dominance. Oh, and as much as I just want so badly to throw my suspicions to the wind, Victor's approval of Victoria's wedding is now kind of throwing it all into question again. I feel all of the speculation has been kick-started all over again. And add to that, when Victoria went over to Billy and Lily's house to let them know that she is engaged, Billy kind of shifted the conversation into whether or not Ashland knew about Tara's dirty dealings. And Billy kind of threw the Ashland and Tara connection back into play, and I thought maybe that had been put to rest last week, but I don't know. I feel like I have to just throw these suspicions to the wind. It's too much. These writers, they just want to play it straight. There are no big twists here. I have to pull myself back and keep remembering that. I'm just feeling like maybe the only goal here is the wedding. End of the year, big bash. Send us into 2022 with a big splash of romance. Ashland gets news of Tara's situation on the private jet on his way back to Genoa City from New York. And Ashland later updated Victoria by saying that Tara has been transported back to New York, where she will most likely make bail. It's kind of a white-collar crime, but she's not going to be allowed to travel back to Genoa City to see Harrison anytime soon. So, I guess that's truly the end of Tara Locke. Sweeping it all up. Hands clean. All done. Goodbye, Tara, officially. But it's still hello, Ashland. Tara just disappeared. But now all the focus is shifting onto Ashland, who, by all rights, seems to be sticking around. Ashland made his presence known at the Abbott Mansion several times this week to check on Harrison, and he had very civil conversations with Jack about Harrison and the custody situation and whether or not Harrison would be going to Milan with Kyle or staying in Genoa City with him. I was really surprised by how friendly it all was. I was also surprised that Jack dared to question whether or not Ashland knew anything about Tara's misdealings. I was like, cool it, Jack. I don't even need this. I'm trying to take things at face value here. Back off. I don't need you throwing any more suspicions into the wind. I've got enough of it already. On my own. Jack has really been on the ball about sniffing out the villains for us recently, though. Like, he's doing a good job of sniffing out villains for the audience. Thanks so much, but now it's time to back off. Oh. Yeah, Jack and Ashland seemed very much on the same level, on the same page. And even when Jack first mentioned to Ashland that Kyle was wanting Harrison to move to Milan, that Harrison could potentially move to Milan with the daddy he just met and daddy's girlfriend. I mean, Ashland didn't even get all up in arms about it the way I would have expected him to. I mean, he wasn't ready to just fork the kid over, but he didn't make a big deal. I was braced for a big blow up over it, and that's not what happened. It sounds like Ashland is going to be making a decision about Harrison next week, though, so I guess we're going to find out, and I'm sort of expecting that it is all going to be swept under the rug, hands clean, goodbye now, Harrison, in the same way that it was with Tara. Just end of story. Jack did have a bit of a blow-up this week, though, but it wasn't with Ashland. It was with Billy. Jack tells Billy that he does not want Chancecom to go running the Tara Locke embezzlement story. It hits way too close to home. Harrison's home. And Jack expects for Billy to just leave it all alone. Jack even invoked the John Abbott name. Jack was really laying into Billy hard, saying the Abbotts need to stick together. Abbotts don't print Abbott's names in their newspaper. Do you think it actually is a newspaper, though? Or did I just make that part up? Do you think that Chancecom is actually a print newspaper? No, it's not a print newspaper. It's probably an online newspaper, right? It's just an online digital website. They just own the website. So Jack could have rephrased it, I guess. Abbotts don't print Abbott's names in Unicode. Just as we knew and feared, all of Phyllis's hard work putting together the pieces of the plot still did not bring Summer home. Summer and Kyle were reunited in Milan and phoned home to tell the parents that they want to stay in Milan together hopefully raise Harrison together. And Kyle would also like to be the co-CEO of Jabot from halfway around the world. That shouldn't be a problem, right, Dad? Oh, yeah, no big deal at all. We can work on the details of that later. Okay. Kyle's gonna be teleconferencing a lot of meetings. Oh, but all of that fallout really put the spotlight on to Phyllis this week. And I was fully prepared to be annoyed with Phyllis all week long. I assumed there was gonna be nothing but a 5-day gloat fest from Phyllis. But then Michelle Stafford grabbed my heart and she squoze it. She squoze it so hard. I mean, from the minute that Kyle and Summer broke the news to the parents, to the second video call that Phyllis had with just Summer, begging her to come home. I mean, Phyllis's whole demeanor changed. It went from gloat. Like, she started out riding so high on her victory, on her savvy, on her smarts, and then the second she realized that it was all for naught, her entire body, her face, even her voice just changed. And in those moments, I realized, oh, Phyllis has been telling herself for weeks that she's been doing all of this for her daughter, when in reality, she was doing it for herself. She was a mom who misses her daughter and is having trouble letting go. And there was this great moment where Phyllis said, I raised my daughter to be strong and independent. Problem is, she took me up on it. And I totally connected with that. That is so identifiable to me. Phyllis had gone to Jack for some advice, and I'm very glad that Jack and Phyllis are friends again. They have a lot in common. It's just good to see them being on the same page. Apparently, Phyllis knows Jack better than anybody. Nick raised an eyebrow at that, and so did I. I'm sure. So did you. Side note here, though. Nick is having a lot of really good, easy conversations on the show right now. I liked seeing Nick reacting like a little brother to Victoria's engagement news, and I liked seeing him chatting with Nikki, giving her the update on everything that happened with Summer, and I liked seeing him in the park talking with Jack about Phyllis. I mean, Nick is not really involved in a lot of action right now, but I am really enjoying his dialogue. I am really enjoying him just being cute guy Nick. Maybe, just maybe, with a streak of jealousy thrown in there over Phyllis and Jack. And it looks like next week, Nick is going to be stepping up his game as a response to that, trying to make his lady extra happy. Because in the previews, Nick is announcing that today is Phyllis Appreciation Day. Now, spoiler alert, I don't want to ruin this for anyone, but every day is Phyllis Appreciation Day for Phyllis. Oh, that ought to be good. Hey, I appreciate Phyllis for cracking the case. I do appreciate her for that. But back to Phyllis and Jack. Phyllis is definitely struggling between wanting what's best for your kid and what's best for you. And I have to say, I really felt like Phyllis and Jack were bonding over that. Jack has been hapless a lot in the last couple of months, but this is where really Jack had some wisdom to share. And he said to Phyllis, hey, we didn't have kids to become little clones of ourselves that never leave our side. There's a cost that you have to pay. It's just part of the package. And that got me right in the feels. That just got me. My daughter is such a little mini me right now, and I have to admit I love it, but I know there's a day where I'm gonna have to let her go, and the idea of that hurts. And I think that's why I was connecting in so hard with Phyllis's motives this way, as I'm just imagining myself letting go of my daughter and how hard it's gonna be. But she's 4 and Summer's like, what, 25, 30? I don't know how old she is. But I also feel like Michelle Stafford was so convincing in those final scenes with Hunter King, because I bet she really felt like she was saying goodbye to her daughter. Hunter King has played Summer longer than anyone else, adult-wise, has played Summer, and I'm sure that the two actresses have become very close. And it seems like Hunter's exit from the show was abrupt, and it had a lot of uncertainty around it, so I'd imagine that we were really getting a lot of focus on Michelle Stafford because she probably cares about Hunter, and that was a real actual sad moment for her. I wonder why Jack didn't get the same opportunity to have a tearful goodbye with Kyle. I mean, Jack's dreams were also dashed. I'm sure Jack wanted to run Jabot side by side with his son in the same way that he ran Jabot side by side with his father. And Jack just had a much more que sera attitude about it all. I'm starting to think, like, is anybody even gonna miss Kyle? Is anybody even gonna miss the town's hapless waffler? Kyle didn't even get to stick around long enough to find out what happened to his so-called best friend, Mariah. In next week's previews, Gloria is back. Yeah! And Gloria is announcing that she's quitting her job as Lauren's assistant. Wait, what? I forgot that Gloria was Lauren's assistant at all. She's never around long enough to assist anything. I'm holding out hope that Lauren is going to offer Gloria Sally's old job as head of JCV, and then maybe we'll see Gloria around a little more often. Yeah. I mean, Sally's been kicked to the curb. Lauren's gonna need someone to come in and take that position. Wouldn't that be a wonderful dream of Gloria's realized? Gloria has been trying so hard, willing to do anything to work from the mail room up to take an assistant level job when she's had much higher positions before. So wouldn't that just be a dream come true for Gloria to have Sally's old job? I think so. I hope so. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Oh, boy, it's a long way down from the top. Lauren and Phyllis and Jack all mobbed Sally at Crimson Lights. Seriously, it was like a gang situation going on there. I was afraid that they were gonna rough Sally up and take her shoes and her wallet. They might as well have tried. Like, one by one, each and every one of them had their say. Lauren was furious at Sally for betraying her trust, fired her on the spot. Jack made sure to let Sally know that he is both disappointed and disgusted by her. And Phyllis, man, Phyllis had to hang around extra. She even hung around extra after everybody else had left to get a few extra stabs in for ruining her daughter's life. Oh my goodness. But never fear, folks. Sally Spectra Jr. is like a cat. She always lands on her feet. When one door closes, another one is thrown open, this time thrown open by Chloe. Chloe sees Sally sitting alone at the coffee house, doesn't know that Sally is recently unemployed, and Sally doesn't tell her either, by the way. Sally just let Chloe fawn all over her work, talk about this new fashion platform, until then Chloe said, all right, well, let me give Lauren a call to make sure everything's okay that we're discussing here, getting a little partnership going. Let's make sure that Lauren's okay with that. And then Sally decided to come clean to tell Chloe her version of the story. But you know what? Chloe doesn't care. Chloe doesn't care one little bit. Chloe tells Sally, I used to be you. I'm gonna now give you a second chance. I'm gonna hire you anyway. And okay, I really like Sally. I'm all about Sally. I can't wait to see what Sally does on the show. But Sally said to Chloe, oh, you have no idea how good it feels to have someone believe in me. And I said, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to call BS here. Lauren believed in you, Sally. JCV was your second chance, Sally. Let's just be clear about that. And then Chloe was all, people change, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's what Lauren thought. People might want to be a little bit careful in trusting Sally Spectra and bringing Sally Spectra into the fold. She's always got some kind of sob story, but she always ends up dragging the people around her into some manner of drama. And now Chloe doesn't know it yet, but she's about to get caught up in the crosshairs of the Phyllis and Sally feud that is really kicking into high gear. Oh, we thought it was high gear before? No, it's kicking into high gear now. Phyllis is going to turn it up to 11. See, Phyllis definitely thought that Sally was going to leave town with her tail between her legs. And that's not what happened. No. Sally bounced back already, and Phyllis does not like it. Phyllis is downright hysterical on the topic of Sally Spectra. And she tells Jack, you know what I always say, don't get mad, get even. Well, Sally continuing to bounce back, continuing to flourish, in fact, getting a new job that Chloe has offered her, in fact, becoming the face of Chloe's new platform, that is going to grate on Phyllis's nerves until Phyllis does something that everyone deems not so heroic. Phyllis is the hero now, but wait until Sally drives Phyllis to do something that everybody deems not so heroic, not so pretty, not so helpful. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, Adam was introduced to Chloe's new hire. Ooh, lots of speculation around that this week. Ooh, 2 new characters, a male and a female, meeting for the first time. Let's have a head explosion, everyone. All I could think was how totally inappropriate it was that Adam was asking Sally about her having dated Jack Abbott. Like, nice first day on the job. Oh, hi, Sally. Aren't you the one that Jack Abbott was dating? Yeah, but don't call him for a reference, okay? Because it's not going to be pretty. Oh, Adam did later ask Jack's opinion of Sally, and I thought it was interesting that Jack had a very laid-back attitude about it all. I would expect, like, Jack seemed to have dropped some of his furiousness, and Phyllis has not. Adam was asking Jack about Sally, and Phyllis kept interjecting herself, and just basically having to take any opportunity she could to let anybody she could know that Sally is nothing but trouble. And everybody but Phyllis, probably including the audience, had a really good laugh when Adam said, I mean, pretty much what the audience has been thinking. Oh, Phyllis, you and Sally have a lot in common. Is that why you don't like her? It's funny and true. Oh, I guess, I don't know, Adam is all about second chances these days. Newman Media seems to be the second chances headquarters. So let's just wait. Let's just wait and see what happens. Let's just wait and see what happens when Sally Spectra sets her sights on the Newman family at Newman Media. And by Newman, I mean Victor Newman Jr. This week, Chelsea and Adam made it official. They're broken up. Gee, thanks for spelling that out. I kind of thought it was implied after she framed him for attempted murder. But thanks for clarifying. Oh, well, that's it. It is written. Adam is single. Who's he gonna hook up with? Sally or Chloe? Which one will it be? Or Sharon? I'm rooting for Chloe. I'm gonna tell you right now, I am actively rooting for an Adam and Chloe hookup purely for the shock factor. Adam and Chloe hooking up would rock faces off of skulls, and I'm all for the chaos. Oh, heck, somebody needs to sleep with Adam outside of the realm of dreamland. That's all Sharon's capable of doing. And there was this moment this week where Victor asked Adam why he's being so hands-off with Chloe working there. And I said, oh, maybe Adam's about to get hands-on instead. I'm feeling the winds of change. I think Kevin is feeling the winds of change, too. He got all puffed up and ran over to Adam's office this week and said, "Stop being so nice to my wife." Ha! I liked that. I thought that was hilarious. Adam is damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Kevin is not buying Adam's turnaround, and Kevin just had to take that opportunity to let him know again that he doesn't trust him. I don't know. I feel like it does seem like we see Chloe a whole heck of a lot more than we see Kevin. Maybe Kevin needs to step aside and Chloe is going to step in and fill a lot of space in the Adams story while Chelsea is off caring for her mother. I feel like Chloe kind of becomes the Chelsea surrogate while Chelsea is gone. So why not fill it all in with a bizarre, out of the blue, hate to love it, love to hate it affair? Aww, Faith and Moses's first kiss. And my Y&R recording froze for about 10 seconds, and I didn't get to see it. I saw them go in for what looked like a real kiss, but was it, or was it just a fake out? Did we actually see them locking lips, or was it just a fake out kiss? I'm not sure. I didn't see that. I did see, I got one little blip of Nick coming around the corner saying, "What's going on here?" But I didn't even get to see their shocked reaction faces. Ugh. I really enjoy Nick as the grumpy, overprotective dad. And it's not that it's right. I know it's not right, but it is sort of real. And I think that Josh Morrow is really in his wheelhouse here, playing that role. I just feel like he's very consistently good at giving us a balance between angry guy and funny guy, and that ends up endearing me to him. I felt worse for Faith getting razzed by Nikki than getting caught by Nick. Nikki looked so uncomfortable in those Friday scenes. I'm sorry, but I have to say it. Moses and Faith went swimming at the ranch, and they were in swimsuits, swim trunk, beach towels, and Nikki was sitting there in a long sleeve blouse and a huge belt, huge boobs, and she looked like she was laced up in a girdle so tight that she couldn't move. I'm sorry. Why the heck would Y&R dress her in a long sleeve blouse for a summer swim chat scene? That makes no sense. Nikki needs to get out and use the pool. She don't have to get in a swimsuit. She can get in a swim cover-up. Apparently, Nikki has not been using the pool very much lately. Can you believe that? Victor had to make a comment about how happy he was that Moses and Faith were out there using the pool because nobody else has been out there using it. Well, why not? Why not? I ask you. Why are we paying to keep this pool open if nobody's using it? Somebody plan a pool party already. It's August, Nikki. Toss on a caftan if you have to. Naya. Finally, the turnaround that I've been waiting for. Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel like now we're finally getting somewhere. Naya admitted to Amanda this week that not only was she not a good mother, but even if she had kept Amanda and Hillary and raised them with Richard, then she still wouldn't have been a good mother because she still would have been too tightly controlled by Sutton. All right, admitting one's mistakes is the first step toward really engaging me in who that person is. I also just think, I know I always say this, but I think the actress has such presence. She is so cold, followed by so hot. I mean, who starts an apology with, "Giving up you and your sister for adoption was the best decision I ever made"? Like, who says that? And then turns it right around. I'm like, gee, Naya, I think we may need to do some work on your communication skills. I really hope the Sutton family had a PR team, because the way Naya talks would have been a nightmare for them. But then, man, she just pulled it right out of the tailspin, and they had this heartwarming moment, mother and daughter, where Amanda finally calls her mom for the first time. Maybe, I don't know. Was it the first time? I don't know if it was the first time or not, but it was a very notable mom. I loved it. I was there in it. I hope this means that we're moving on now. I feel we are. I'm ready to move on. I hope this means that we're done with Sutton now. The stories seem to be shifting, and I'm all for it. Ooh! Office scandal! Now that Nate has become the new chief of surgery, he's going to become Elena's boss. Ooh. And boy, Elena does not want any whiff of impropriety there at all. Nate made a joke about maybe switching around her schedule, and she did not like that, not one little bit. That is so Elena, isn't it? That reaction was so Elena. And I kind of like that about her, to be honest. I can feel and see that Elena is a hard worker. I mean, she's doing all of these double shifts at the hospital. She has earned everything that she has, and she does not want to give anyone the idea that she's being given preferential treatment by her boyfriend. She probably also doesn't want those gossipy gals at the hospital whispering in the corner about her, which they probably already do. Elena has dated 2 very high-profile, very hunky men, and I just bet you that the other ladies at the hospital have opinions about her. She broke up with Devon to be with Nate, then she broke up with Nate to be with Devon, and now she's back with Nate. Ooh. So Elena has got to present herself seriously. And I like people who take their jobs seriously and who are willing to work. Like Moses! Take another unpaid internship, why don't you, while you figure out what it is you want to do. That makes sense to me. Moses and Nate have a follow-up career chat, and now that Nate is going to have a whole lot less time to spare on his hand, he has a whole lot less time on his hand to spare. He has a whole lot less spare hand. Nate has decided that it's okay now that Moses go ahead and take his career in another direction. He only has one hand. He has to dedicate the one hand to being the chief of surgery at the hospital. He doesn't have an extra hand to lend to Moses right now. So we're going to let Uncle Devon handle the Moses situation instead. Let Uncle Devon become the mentor instead. He has a lot of spare time on his hand. Okay, all right, I'm done. I was really interested in that conversation between Devon and Nate and Moses, though, because they were giving him a career pep talk, like telling him to visualize his goals, and I was totally vibing with that. I was watching my screen, shaking my head, going, I like it when people are motivated and goal-oriented and trying to help other people make their dreams come through, too. That speaks to me. Now what I would like is for Devon to speak to Abby about how Cousin Nate got the chief of surgery job at the hospital and how Stitch ain't stitching nothing but lies. Mariah's situation is feeling more and more like a horror movie. Was that smoke detector camera thing always there, or is that new? Did someone sneak in and put that camera there while she was sleeping? Ugh. Well, Mariah was dreaming that Tessa had come to rescue her. Someone was in there placing a camera? Ooh. You know, my Y&R recording was also preempted for about 5 minutes of weather coverage right in the middle of Mariah's dream sequence. But that dream, if what I saw I have interpreted correctly, was very kind of cool in the way it was done, because the dream went from Mariah having this happy reunion with Tessa to the dream slowly pulling out into a waking reality where Tessa was telling Mariah I can't save you. I don't even know where you are. You are going to have to save yourself. And then Mariah snaps out of it. Like, that was really eerie and really well done, and I really liked it. And finally, it seems like we're getting somewhere. The Missing Mariah Mystery Team has called their first meeting, their first official meeting. Sharon suggests pulling Mariah's credit card records and doing what practical digging they can do. And yeah, I mean, we need to be here by now. The fact that Mariah is now seen as blowing off everyone's concern for her is what has everyone convinced that, you know, that something really bad has happened. Mariah would not do that. It's not who she is. Mariah would not run away with Abby's baby and act like Abby needs to back off when Abby asks her about it. Mariah would not disregard Tessa's feelings of abandonment, and I think that it's just at the core not really who Mariah is. If Mariah needed space, Mariah would come back and get in everyone's face and tell them to leave her alone. So it takes Ray all of one episode to finally do some digging and find out that Mariah hasn't used any of her credit cards. She hasn't made any phone calls from her phone, just texts. And the software that was used to scramble her phone's location is very sophisticated, like professional level sophisticated. So that's it. That is it. It's time to get to the bottom of this. Ray announces that he is going to make an official investigation. And just like I joked about 2 weeks ago, Ray's first thought is, well, there's only one man in Genoa City that I can think of who steals women. Adam! Adam is always lurking around, trying to steal Sharon. He probably stole Mariah just to find a way to get at Sharon. I mean, seriously? What the hell could Adam possibly know about Mariah? Has Adam ever even met Mariah? I'm half expecting Adam to say, Mariah who? You gotta be kidding me. That's your first stop on the investigation, Ray? Oh, Lord, we have no hope. We have no hope. It is up to us, you guys. It is up to the fans to save Mariah. It's up to us to figure out who did it and save Mariah. So since it does seem like Y&R is actually moving the train at this point, why don't we all just get our theories in this week? I want your official guess on who kidnapped Mariah. I don't want 2 guesses. I don't want, well, it could be this person or that person. I want to know your lead theory on who kidnapped Mariah. That's our poll question for this week at yrchat.com. I know there's a lot of theories out there, but I want your lead theory. Is it like Chance? Is it Stitch? Is it Nina? Is it Victor? Is it someone from Mariah or Tessa's past? Let me know who you think the kidnapper is, and if you don't see your guess listed, then leave it in the comments, and next week we'll pick back up and see who the lead suspects are, and you and I will figure this one out together. I have been kicked in the face more than once. Believe it or not, Jack said that last week. He was talking to Kyle, telling Kyle not to feel bad about trusting Tara. Jack's made a few mistakes himself. He's been kicked in the face more than once, and he still came out on the other side. So the answer to last week's Who Said It quote is Jack. And congratulations to the few winners. It was just Henry, Kamna, Jamie, Cheryl, Tony, Sheila, Daisy, Judy, and Red Lady. You guys got it right. I love the new quote. I think this is fantastic. You tell me if you think you know who said it. Reckless abandon can be intoxicating. Ooh, reckless abandon can be intoxicating. Who do you think said that? Go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Now it's time to get to your comments. How about this fantastic practical comment from Sherrod, who says, Mariah, note to self, the hinges of the door are on the inside. Keep the butter and the knife, oil up the hinges, and take the hinges off the door. Yes, Sherrod, thank you. That is so good. That's just the comment that I feel like I needed this week. Oh, man. Because it's so frustrating to watch Mariah try to figure out how she's going to get out of there. I mean, this week we saw her tapping her slipper on the wall, trying to find a hollow part of the wall that maybe she could break through. And it makes you feel so helpless. And I'm sure that a lot of viewers are watching those scenes thinking, how the heck would I get out of this room? But Sherrod has given us a very good method. I love it. Yes, I mean, that door has got to be the weak spot, and you just hit it right on the hinges. Shelly says, it's so obvious that Stitch is the one who's kidnapped Mariah. He lied to Abby about the job at the hospital. Nate's the one who got that job. Stitch is so damn shady. The person who has Mariah is giving her prenatal vitamins and is making sure she's staying healthy. I don't know what his end game is, but this guy is nuts. Yeah, I heard that Sean Kerrigan was asked to stay around a little bit longer for the role, so maybe he's kind of gone. We haven't seen him in a while, ever since he made the announcement about the job at the hospital. So maybe we're in the period now where they were kind of done with him for a while, and maybe within the next couple of weeks we'll see him again. Stitch is most certainly the most obvious suspect. He's the shady character who's peeping through the windows. But sometimes I feel like the more obvious the story is, the more it spins the fans into a fury of speculation. We just cannot handle I think we're just so predisposed for the twists, and it drives us nuts to just have the straight line. Daisy says, I wonder if Gloria took Mariah to get money from Abby for the return of her child. The Abbotts, the Newmans, and Hamiltons have a lot of money. Gloria may see this baby as dollar signs. And if that's true, maybe Kevin will figure things out. Well, that's a new one, Daisy. I had not heard anybody say Gloria, but she is in those previews for next week. And not only that, but we did have the Kevin Fisher connection. Ray did say that he went to Kevin, and Kevin was just as worried about Mariah as everybody else was. He wouldn't have helped her escape. He would have tried to talk her into staying. So now that we've got Gloria back on the screen next week, I mean, this isn't even all that of a wild theory. You never know. It's as plausible as anything. Gary says, fair weather friend Nina Webster released from the Chancellor Margarita crew to go work on a movie script in L.A. In Abby's time of need? Due to no storyline for an esteemed actress, or does Nina need to free up her time to go nursemaid a kidnapped Mariah into delivery? Yes, that's a good question. Where did Nina go? Why is she off right as Abby would need her most? Is it simply that we are making room to send Trisha Cast off to other things? Or is Nina in on it? Ellen says, I buy your theory, Gary. Why would Nina just decide to leave for work when Mariah is missing? It makes no sense. Then again, maybe Trisha Cast needed to get back to Nashville for some reason. They do seem to enjoy stringing the fans along, making us wonder, is it Stitch? Is it Nina? Who has Mariah? At least I'm not the only one who's feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy with all of this madness. Sherrod says, so Nina is away in LA working on a movie script. Didn't Chance Com just hire her to work for them? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. We saw Lily offer Nina the job, and she was investigating some kind of corporate thing. So it was like, I don't know, I don't remember what the story exactly was, but it didn't seem like it would be connected to a crime in any way. So I don't know that there's much to chew on there. It just almost doesn't make sense that Nina wouldn't be there. She did sit down at the coffee house for when Tessa confronted Sharon. Nina was there for that, but then she was off again on a trip to LA for her movie. Yeah, I don't know what Nina's role in all of this is, but I hope we find out soon because it's driving me crazy. I'm starting to appreciate the nice and easy screen time. Like this, Gary says it was nice to see Amanda so happy and excited about her life and talking with Phyllis on Thursday's show. This is known as inner peace for the immediate moment. She was looking radiant. Yes, I know. Just the conversation with Amanda, chatting with Phyllis, talking about the fact that Devon said that he loves her. She did look beautiful. I mean, I think they had their mimosas there, and they both looked so gorgeous, and they were celebrating, and everyone seemed happy. And yeah, it's sort of similar to last week when Billy and Lily were just chilling on the couch. I think all of the fury and the speculation around what twists there may or may not be kind of makes me appreciate those quieter moments. Well, hey, here is a fantastic viewpoint on Victoria from Sue W., who says, I want to go on record for supporting Victoria. She gets lots of bashing as the Ice Queen, but I don't see that, particularly after unconditionally enduring JT's abuse. And correct me, please, if I'm wrong, but didn't she stand by idiot Billy through whatever nonsense again and again? She is a dynamically successful woman who, well, until now, loves and does right by her children. Her newfound happiness with Ashland is deserved. And, oh no, probably going to crumble when he betrays her or dies. Amelia H. portrays all of this expertly. In my book, she is highly underrated. Nobody nails devastated and humiliated like she does. Just saying. Victoria brings it. Always. Yeah, Sue W. I love that comment. I love that pro-Victoria comment. Because, yeah, we are always harping on Victoria for being so cold and so ruthless and just like her father. But you're bringing up some great points there about what she's been through. We have seen Victoria as a devoted mother. And boy, I mean, the JT situation just pulled at my guts when all of that was going down. I think it's easy to kind of forget that, because Y&R has almost seemed to want to present her as very ruthless, taking over Newman Enterprises for the last, I don't know, at least the last year. But I really like that you're giving this a reminder that what Victoria does is very good, and it's very necessary, and whatever Amelia Heinel is being asked to do, she's doing it. She can give cold, she can give ruthless, she can give calculating, but she can also give incredibly sensitive and, as you say, devastated and humiliated. And yeah, I think there's a nuance there that Ashland seems to bring out in her, and I think that's why I'm enjoying their tale even more than I ever thought I would. Yeah, this is a really great comment, and it sounds like, though, you're worried that Ashland is going to turn. That perhaps now the fact that characters on screen are becoming suspicious has given a green light to the fact that there could be something suspicious going on. Jamie says, Victor sure did call a spade a spade. Thank you, sir. Ashland better sleep with one eye open. Victor's got him in his crosshairs with good reason. Oh, that's a good question. So do you think that Victor's worries about Ashland were really qualmed? That's the thing. As soon as I saw Victor questioning Ashland, I thought to myself, I feel like this is Y&R telling us, the fans, to knock it off. I feel like this is Y&R trying to reassure the fans that everything's on the up and up and up. And I still want to see the documents of his medical records. I'm still going to require further proof. There was a part of me that immediately thought, oh, this is Y&R's way of trying to reassure us about Ashland, not to kick up new dust. But it's also possible that they're just trying to reassure us about Ashland so that then they can twist it on us. There's just no knowing. Victoria says, I'm loving this classic Victor Newman today. He walks right into Victoria's without knocking, takes a piece of Ashland's fruit, ignores the fact that Ashland just got back from his first chemotherapy treatment, and lowers the boom on Ashland. Kapow! Was it fruit? Because I'm pretty sure it was a cracker. I saw the fruit on the table, but I could have sworn he picked up the cracker, because he also had a little crumb on his lip for the remaining scene, and I loved the fact that he ate the cracker. I was all in on the cracker, and then it seemed like there was a crumb that wouldn't go away, and I did find myself thinking, oh, I wish he wouldn't have eaten that cracker. But it's such a bold move. It's such a seasoned actor move. I mean, those crackers were probably stale. Who knows where they came from? I'm sure they didn't crack open a fresh bag of crackers for the prop. And yet, he didn't care. Eric Braeden didn't care. He just came right in and he grabbed it and he took it. And I feel like it was such a dominance move. Like, I've been here before. This is my daughter. And yeah, if I'm going to walk into this house and eat whatever I want, fruit, crackers, you name it, I'm Victor Newman. Oh, here's something good from Ellen, who says, will Victor do something to ensure Victoria's wedding isn't valid? If not, then why didn't he at least talk to her about an ironclad prenuptial agreement that protects her, her children, and most importantly, Newman Enterprises? I'm shocked that the subject hasn't come up. Victoria should be motivated to protect her assets, and Victor should be very suspicious of Ashland's motives. Yeah, I think everybody said, I'm not going to be suspicious of Ashland. He's just going to be dead soon. And then as soon as he started agreeing to have his treatments, that's when Victor said, okay, if this guy is going to stick around, then maybe I ought to do something about it. And, oh, let us not forget, it was actually Adam who planted that seed in Victor's mind. That's what it was, now that I think about it. Victor was all ready to plan the wedding. Then he goes to the office, and Adam mentions, well, what if Ashland survives? Oh, they're engaged, and okay, and he's getting treatment. What if he survives? What does that mean for Newman Enterprises pops? And that's when Victor had his turn, and he went to Victoria's house and he started asking questions. Ooh, but I just love your theory. This would be so good. It's too good. It won't happen. But this would be a dream scenario. Is if Victor did something to make sure that the marriage wasn't, like he's planning the wedding, he does something to make sure that the marriage isn't actually legal. Then when Ashland has his turn and we see this Loch Ness monster and reveals his plan, then Victor goes, haha, checkmate, you're not married to her after all. Oh, that'd be so good. Diane K says, I am now on board with the theory that Locke is playing Victoria. Not letting her go along for the chemotherapy is the last bit of evidence I needed. He is going to marry her and take all of Newman Enterprises. Yes. And Sue W says he's a sandbagger. Acknowledge, address, and refute. Smoothly staying one step ahead of any potential naysaying. I think the Loch Ness Monster is doing what he does best. He will surface. Ooh, good. Oh, and Allie says, who put out the call about unsafe working conditions at Jabot? In the end, was it Tara or was it Ashland? Will we ever know? There's so many questions that are left unanswered, and I think that's a really important one. Who did that? Was it Tara? Was it Ashland? We need some resolution on that. Not only that, but then what happened about Tara's brother? We never got anything about that either, and I don't think we ever are. Last week I asked you guys, do you want to see more of Tara Locke? 69%, the majority of you said, no, I'm done now. Goodbye, Tara. I don't need ya. 31% in the minority with me, saying, yes, bring her back. There's more to this story. Well, it looks like the majority of fans got their wish. The actress is confirmed to be gone from the show. She's not coming back, so that's that. There ain't gonna be no answer about her brother. And maybe at one point there was intended to be an answer about the brother. I mean, the brother, that even just that little breadcrumb portends that there was more for the future of Tara's story. And maybe the fact that Kyle and Summer didn't get their contracts resolved and had to leave the show meant that Tara had to go with them. Because Sandra asks if the abrupt end to Tara's reign of terror was brought on by Summer and Kyle leaving Y&R. What do the chatters think the original plan was, bringing Ashland and Tara to Genoa City? Sandra, this is the thing. There are breadcrumbs everywhere. There's leftovers everywhere. Y&R swept Tara up under the rug, but there's still Tara crumbs all over the place, and nobody bothered to ever get them. There's lots of little things that seem to indicate that there was more gonna happen here. And it's a really great question. What would it have been if Ashland and Tara had stayed on? What was the story going to be? It does feel like it switched midstream. Like maybe there was going to have been some collusion between Ashland and Tara, and now that they just decided not to go in that direction, they decided to go in a romantic direction with Ashland instead, and that is what I'm feeling. I still overall kind of feel like Y&R got rid of Tara, whatever, she's gone, and they just would rather have Ashland as a romantic lead. I don't think they're going to twist it. I don't think he's plotting anything against Newman Enterprises. I mean, I guess call me naive on the one thing I say there's no twist, and then there'll end up being a big twist, but I just really don't think so. It really feels like there's been a directional change, and the whole Loch Ness Monster thing, you just might as well forget it, because it's leftover from whatever they were planning to do. Just a thought. Nancy, on a different topic, says, I'd like to see Sally and Chloe get involved in some complete chaos. Let's add Chelsea to the mix with Chloe and Sally. Guaranteed hot mess. Yes, I mean, nobody was working at Newman Media, so we had Chloe, and now we have Sally, and when Chelsea comes back, we'll have her. Guaranteed hot mess. Slam dunk. You know, Daisy says, Sally still hasn't taken responsibility for her own actions and blames Phyllis for everything. I wonder if Sally will end up trying to hurt Phyllis in some way, particularly if Phyllis gets Adam to fire Sally. Oh, I don't think Adam will fire Sally for Phyllis, but I think, gosh, you know, you really are bringing up a good point that Sally really hasn't taken much responsibility for anything that she did do. There's something about her that she just sort of seems, she cries, and that makes me feel bad for her for some reason. But yeah, I mean, we really haven't seen her really owning. I mean, I don't know, I guess she had the conversation with Chloe talking about it, but, you know, maybe it would be good for Sally to approach Phyllis and sort of explain herself, or approach Lauren and explain herself. But you know that the only one Sally's going to do that with is Jack. Here's a good counterpoint, though. Superplex says, has Sally ever tried to kill anyone? Because Chloe and Phyllis have. That's so good. That made me laugh so hard when I saw that. Yeah, it's like Sally's such an evildoer, but yeah, she has never tried to kill anyone the way Chloe and Phyllis have. Yeah, Sally hasn't been around long enough to have the soap opera resume that includes an attempted murder. Oh, and Ellen says, Phyllis wants what Phyllis wants. If Summer is so important, why doesn't Phyllis move to Milan? Then she can continue second-guessing Summer's decisions full time. Ooh, that's good. That's good, Ellen. If Summer's so important, why doesn't Phyllis move to Milan? That's good. Southside Granny says, wow, Kevin should step down from his high horse. I'm tired of the Adam bashing. He does seem to be making a better life for himself and family. And although I'm not sure he can keep his hands off of Newman Enterprises, no matter what Daddy Victor says. Yeah, it seems like Adam's definitely going to make a move on Victoria. Victor's trying to broker peace between those two. But yeah, Adam's being a good boy for now, but I could definitely see him striking. I'm for it. Oh, Victoria says, I hate to be catty, but I am so distracted by Adam's wardrobe choice. The blue shirt and black vest. I keep expecting Adam to ask Victor what he should like to order. Sorry. Wasn't it backwards though? Wasn't it a black shirt and a blue vest? I want to say it was like a blue suit. And it was weird. Tina Cole says, I usually don't comment on wardrobe, but yes, something looked off with Adam's choice of clothing, and I was definitely distracted by it too. I do have to agree. I'm pretty sure it was like a blue vest and a black shirt, and that's what threw me off about it. It was an unusual blue. It was kind of a bright blue, but he didn't have the suit jacket on, so it was just the black and blue, and he was giving me, like, I don't know, I was getting boy band vibe out of just the vest. Like it was like Boys to Men. I thought he was gonna break out into song or something. It was nice. It was supposed to be a sharp 3-piece suit. He didn't have the jacket on, and so he just looked weird in an all blue pant and vest, and then the blackness of the shirt just sort of disappeared behind it. Yeah, it was not flattering, but then a couple scenes later he did put on the jacket and I was fine. I said, thank you, he put on the jacket, everything's fine again. It was dorky. He looked kind of dorky. It didn't look fitted to him. It was a little large even in the pant when he was sitting down. He just looked dorky, like he was in middle school and it was picture day. For the boy band. Boy band middle school picture day. That describes it. Oh, well, here we go. Tony says, light bulb day for me. I have not liked Sally yet, mostly because she didn't seem to fit. I don't like this Adam because he doesn't fit into the Adam mold we were used to, and then they keep trying to make him fit. But I do think I would like to see Adam and Sally together, scheming, then romantically. They have both been schemers, and I can see each of them looking at each other and nodding admiringly. Yep, I'm sure the internet blew up on the day that Sally was introduced to Adam. Leslie says, no, I do not want my Adam with Sally. Yeah, I'm gonna go Adam and Chloe. That's where I want the story to be. Adam and Sally, yeah, I don't know. Ellen says, Chatham is over. Stay strong, Adam. Be an excellent co-parent with Chelsea, but she isn't the right partner for you. You know who you belong with. Someone you've always loved and trusted. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it seemed like we were going back to Adam and Sharon. Sharon's all dreaming of Adam, and then Adam gets this new lady walking into his office. Yeah, I would have thought for sure that Adam was on a path right back to Sharon, but then the Sally factor throws a wrench in here. Lots of wrenches. Victoria says, are we in for a Jack and Phyllis reunion? There was some foreshadowing today when Jack was talking to Nick and when Phyllis and Amanda were talking. Many chatters have suggested Sally and Nick. I'm not sure how I feel about Jack and Phyllis. Yeah. I could see a reunion for Jack and Phyllis. It certainly does seem like there are some breadcrumbs there. Superplex says, Jack is stupid enough to fall under the spell of Phyllis once more. She will have him wrapped around her little finger. Ain't no doubt about that. I have no doubt that Jack would love to get back together with Phyllis. Now, if Jack did get back together with Phyllis, then that would open up the door for Nick. Okay, picture this. Jack and Phyllis fall into each other's arms. All these emotions, all this stuff going on. They just kiss, they hug, and then they sleep together. Whoops. Okay. Nick finds out about it. He's going to be furious with Phyllis. He could turn around and sleep with Phyllis's biggest rival, Sally. So Jack and Phyllis getting back together certainly would open the door for Nick and Sally. And if Adam's kind of thrown into there too, then it could end up being a triangle between Adam and Nick and Sally. I don't know what that does for Adam's true love, Sharon. But I don't know. Maybe, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like the show is kind of being broken open at this point, and maybe they are mixing some things up. So it's certainly possible it could go in a number of different directions. Sherrod thinks it is about to be Sally and Adam. You know that plot plot device, which will end Nick and Adam's brotherly bonding, as well as cause problems for Adam and Jack's friendship. Yeah, Sherrod, Adam getting involved with Sally would definitely tick Nick off, and it would definitely tick Jack off too. Hey, Victoria says, last week we talked about social distancing. The most obvious social distancing I saw was today when Jack threw Harrison's favorite cup at him. I thought, how awkward. Yeah, I saw that too. Here's your favorite cup, kid. Toss it across the room. And Diana says, Jack taught Harrison to play ball sitting down at the park. I don't think I've seen this technique before. Come on, Jack, you're not that old. There goes Harrison's chances of ever being a professional baseball player. I also found Jack's attire interesting for the occasion. Dress pants, dress shirt, and dress shoes. Jack needs to loosen up and relax and think about investing in some casual clothes if he wants to be the hip grandfather to Harrison. Maybe Jack and Nikki need to be a pair. They seem incapable of dressing down for scenes and occasions that clearly need to be dressed down. Oh, Jack and his button-ups. Will he ever pick a pair of shorts? Well, let's land on this little gem. Melinda says, what happened to Jack's first son? Melinda innocently asks, whatever happened to Jack's first son? Oh, it never ceases to amaze me how many people still remember and talk about chemo. And I think maybe it's not so much that the character was so memorable, but I think it's the fact that there's this absence of an entire Abbott heir. And it's such a good question as to why has Y&R chosen to never pick up the ball on chemo. Like I'm almost starting to think that maybe chemo never existed and it's just a Mandela effect amongst the fans. Like we collectively hallucinated chemo's existence and it never actually happened. Oh, it's just a fun little nugget. Chemo is such a fun little facet of Y&R Chat. It's like everybody else has probably forgotten about him except Y&R Chat, where we reference him regularly. I think Y&R needs to bring chemo back, but they had better not dare recast him. I will tell you right now, they need to bring chemo back, but it needs to be Philip Moon. If Y&R brought chemo back, if Y&R made my dream come true and brought chemo back to the show, not as Philip Moon, I'm going to tell you right now, I would be enraged for about 3 weeks solid, and then I would accept whatever hot young guy they decided to cast in the role, and I would get into it. Okay, everybody, there's another Y&R Chat for you. I hope you thought it was a good one. And I hope you go to yrchat.com to leave your comments about the show. Vote in the poll. Let's get some hard numbers on who kidnapped Mariah. And next week we'll come back and we'll go through them all. We'll see who the top suspects are. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, everybody, have a really good week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.